I knew I wasn't going to be good at the track, but oh my god. Holy how the did that happen? Holy that's insane. Wow, how the did they wind up there? Holy shit. Alright YouTube, we're back. This is going to be my second time recording this video here. Because the first 25-minute video I recorded, well 25 minutes of recording, the Bluetooth mic wasn't connected. So, there's that. So what I want to discuss today is getting... What the f*** are you doing? Like, what are... Jesus Christ, dude. Alright, so... what I want to discuss today. I want to talk about how I would learn to ride a motorcycle. So we're going to go over how I would learn to ride a motorcycle now, if I didn't know how to ride yet. So the first thing I tell everybody to do, regardless of just about anything, is get your helmet, get your gloves. That's usually all you're required to buy to go do the motorcycle safety course. So find a good helmet that's ECE approved. That way you're not riding in some garbage helmet that if you get in an accident isn't going to do shit. DOT is the bare minimum, and I wouldn't wear anything that's only DOT approved. Especially now, because companies like KYT are making the TT Revo, where I actually have one of those coming in, and for $170, like, I mean, you can get a very good beginner helmet for relatively cheap. So I mean, all in all, between gloves and a helmet, you can get your starter helmet and gloves for anywhere like $300 to $400, honestly. So there's really no excuse not to do that, to get decent starter gear, just for the motorcycle safety course. So there's a couple of reasons why I recommend everybody go do it regardless, especially if you've never been around motorcycles before and you have no experience. You get to learn on somebody else's bike. It's usually pretty inexpensive. It's like $200 for the day. They give you a bike. So all that wear and tear of learning to use the clutch if you drop the bike, and it's a low cc bike, usually like 250s. So now that you're learning on somebody else's bike, all that wear and tear is being put on somebody else's vehicle, not yours. So you don't have to pay for the maintenance of it. I mean, you are with the upfront costs, but you know what I mean. So I always recommend go to the motorcycle safety course, and then after the motorcycle safety course, find a friend or somebody you know and trust that rides already to either take your bike for you to a parking lot or find a parking lot that's close enough, like 5-10 minutes away. That way you can practice. Well, alright, back it up. So now you complete the motorcycle safety course. Now you go get your starter bike. And here's where I recommend like a 250 to a 400. You can start in a 600, you can start in a 1000. I don't see the point in it. You're much safer starting on a low cc bike. Yeah, you'll have to buy another bike in 2 years or whatever, but you can learn a lot more on a low cc bike than you can on a high cc bike starting out. Because you're not going to be scared of the power band. You're not going to, and it's going to be way less expensive. So if you do drop it, the fairing that on a 1000cc might be $500-600. You pay $200 to go get a replacement fairing for it. Whatever. I think there's a lot of pros starting on a low cc bike. I've been riding for 9 seasons now, so this is going to be this is a very unprofessional opinion. So after you get your starter bike, your 250-400, find a nice open parking lot. Either have somebody ride the bike there for you, or make sure it's close. That way you're not in a lot of danger. Or go on especially low traffic hours to get there. That way you can avoid any unnecessary risk and whatnot. Bring cones. Find some low speed drills, because the motorcycle safety course really only teaches you the absolute bare minimum to operate a vehicle or operate the motorcycle. It doesn't teach you how to actually properly ride. Go get some parking lot time, do some low speed drills, some tight maneuverability stuff, get comfortable with the bike. I don't know, probably 2 to 3 hours, rough estimate, depending how you feel, how comfortable you are, all that good stuff. Once you kind of got a good feeling of the bike and whatnot, that's when I'd recommend going and getting and making sure you have a friend or a group, small group to ride with. They can put you in the front or the middle of the pack, and that way you're a little bit safer. They can block traffic behind you, and it just eases your mind having somebody there to help coach you through certain things that you might not know. I know it helped my girlfriend a lot. She started on the road before she took her course just because the scheduling was backed up so much. So for her, she would have a question. Even if she had a rough idea of the answer, she would just ask me to double check, because I have a little bit more experience. So I'm just confirming most of the time what she's thinking. And it just gave her the confidence to properly... RX-8. It just gave her the confidence to ride the bike, and having me there if something went wrong, for instance, if she stalls the bike, reminding her, just put it in neutral, pull the clutch, start the bike back up. It's just little stuff that when you're out in traffic, it's easy to get overwhelmed and forget simple things like, oh, I just need to pull the clutch, start the bike back up, and it'll be good to go. Little stuff like that. What gear to be in for certain instances. So if you find somebody you trust, it just makes your life a lot easier. But third, especially if this is more so for my boys and girls that get a sport bike over a cruiser. I started on a cruiser personally, but obviously a sport bike's lighter, more enticing for a lot of reasons. Go to a track day. Honestly, for me, I did a private track day for my first track day, which probably wasn't the best idea. I'd recommend going to a track day that has dedicated coaches with one-on-one. That way they kind of show you the lines, body position. They can follow you, show you what you're doing wrong. But even just going for the private day, it gave me a lot of trust and helped me figure out kind of some of the limitations of the bike. And that's important when riding, because it's important to have trust in the motorcycle, and it lets you push it a little bit harder. Early on, you should be pushing it. But going to a track day with a dedicated coach is just going to help you learn a lot faster. And the main thing the track day did for me is I knew I wasn't an incredible rider. I'm a good road rider where I can ride safely. I knew I wasn't going to be good at the track, but oh my God. Holy. How the f*** did that happen? Holy sh**. That's insane. Wow, how the f*** did they wind up there? Holy sh**. I kind of want to swing back around, but I don't really want to go have a talk with the cops. That's absurd. But going to the track, it just makes you realize how much you have to learn. And another good point, key point for me, is just to always be learning new things. Whether that's just learning about your bike, how to ride, body technique. There's always something you can learn. Bike maintenance, track riding, stunt riding, all those things. I think anything you can learn on a motorcycle, I think, is beneficial to everyday riding and being safe. Man, I know I'm missing so much more that I hit on my original recording. I can't think of it. That sucks. Alright, well, what I got out of this video is to always make sure my mic is recording, because this really sucks, dude. Get into motorcycles for the right reason. You're not gonna get a ton of clout. All this dumb people are buying bikes for, it's okay to love the idea of having the bike and get a bike because, I think it's cool. But, This is an incredibly dangerous hobby. It's as dangerous as you make it to a degree, right? Like, the harder you ride, the more things you do. The more rides you go on per year, the faster you go, the harder you ride. All these things dictate just how dangerous the bike is. But also, the only time I've had accidents is when I was doing the right thing. So, just doing the right thing isn't always enough. People don't pay attention. People aren't looking out for you. So, you have to really want to get into this lifestyle, I think you have to say, for it to be worth it. It can be incredibly dangerous. But the way I look at it is, just living can be incredibly dangerous, because I can be driving my car down this same road, and if somebody decides they're going to take a hard left in front of me and cut me off or run to the side of my car, like, I could still die doing that. So to me, the benefit outweighs the negatives of being on a bike, and it's honestly the best way to experience the world, in my opinion. But to recap the video, to make it nice, short, and sweet, I'd say the key points: do the MSF course, get gear, decent gear, do as I say, not as I do type thing. I'm in riding pants, and I'm also in Jordans, but, everything's inherently risky. Find somebody you trust to bring you to a parking lot and give you more pointers on simple stuff. Then also have somebody to ride with is another good point, I believe. Just having somebody to bounce ideas off of or questions while you're riding is incredibly beneficial, so you get real-time responses. Make sure they know what they're doing. Don't get all of your coaching off of YouTube and TikTok. That's why I'm keeping this very basic. I don't have the coaching to tell you how to get your knee down and ride track and all that good stuff. I know how to stay alive on the street. That's about it. That's my goal. And my fourth biggest thing is just always be learning. Always find a reason or a new thing to learn. The slammed Volkswagen at the dealership. But I think that's going to do it for me today, boys. If I remember anything else on my way home from the gym, I'll make sure to throw it in at the end. Bye.